All right, now, first off, right on top of the show, I hope everyone can hear me. Hope it is working. I didn't do mic test. I could have done a mic test, no. Okay, settings? No. All right, well, let me know if you can hear me or not. All right, now I gotta get a special guest over here. And we'll get that right now. All right, so I want to make a point that my opinions that I express on this show are my own opinions, no one else's. Oh, there might be somebody else's, but they're mine. No need for fact checkers, because I'm not speaking in a matter of fact way. I'm speaking in my opinion. So unless I'm causing some kind of violent issue with anyone, no need for fact checking. Unless I'm trying to cause any kind of issue with government or with anyone at anywhere, there's no need for fact checking. Period. All right. Hey, Julie, how you doing?
All right.
We got it working. Holy crap!
All right.
I got my earbuds, my Bluetooth earbuds in. They clip around the ear. They were quite expensive, but they're a good. They're a good model, and they could last a little bit longer than what I would like. But anyway, for right now, they're working. And I had to
Uh-huh.
use these because my other headphones decided to crap out on me, and I don't want them. I don't want them to come apart. See the rest there at the connection there. I don't want to have them come apart. Right here. Okay, if you can see that, yeah, right here. That's that will break off in a minute. So I wouldn't want to be in the middle of the show and having that break off. That would really stink. And hello to Bobby and Genghis. How you doing? All right. All right. So we have a special guest, someone I always love and admire being on the show. Not meaning to be weird with that. Yeah. Don't get
Well,
weird.
let's make it awkward though.
All right. But yeah. So I'm just glad that you are able to be here tonight and join us. And we're going to have some fun with some readings if anybody wants one. And Genghis, I asked you before if you ever wanted a reading, and you always seem to disappear when we do the readings. Gets to be Genghis' turn, and he's like, "Where did he go?" So, but you guys can pick who you want to do the reading. If Julie has the energy to do it, then she'll work with us. And there you go. She's ready to go. So, um,
I'm not gonna hang out and not do readings.
that's right. And I would like one from you because I haven't had one from you for a while. So
Yeah.
I would certainly love one. And again, not being freaky.
Not trying to take things out of context. Oh boy, Ron.
Sometimes we use that word and we use another word way too much. And most of the time when we use that word love, we don't know what the hell we're talking about most of the time. We're just using it as a expressive term not necessarily meaning anything. Just saying it because it's there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. So I picked 3 cards. I typically do 3 cards.
Okay, I'll
So
accept that.
this is for Ron.
And make sure you get a picture.
I am picking up like a white animal, like a small white animal. Did you ever have a
I had a white cat a long time ago, a very long time ago.
Okay, because I'm picking up that this cat wants to let you know they're sending you love and they appreciated you.
Oh wow, yeah, because we kind of rescued it. It was my wife loved cats, and it was in Sacramento actually. We had an apartment there, and it was probably left by one of the tenants at the building, and so we ended up adopting it, I guess, and that was one of the things we did. I don't want any pets at my time now because, well, I gotta get out and go places, and I don't want to have to worry about the pet when I'm gone. You know what I mean? And so it's like when I go, I want to just be able to leave, and the ghosts here, the spirits here at my house can take her to the house. They'll guard it for me.
Yeah, I almost feel
I
like
believe that.
this cat will come to visit you and sit
Yeah.
on the arm of your chair.
You know, I got to tell you something. I did sense something here. I didn't know it was a cat. I couldn't tell that, but I could tell something was beside me, kind of like on the arm of the chair, like you're saying. And I couldn't feel the fur or nothing. All I felt was the energy of the creature. When you're saying a cat, I have had my mom here visiting right beside me, you know, and I could tell she was here. I haven't seen my dad yet. He's not trying to reach out yet, but we didn't talk much anyway. So I was more connected to my mom, I think, personally.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way it is with all of us, whether we know our mom or met our mom or had a good experience or not, we're still connected to our moms more than anyone, obviously. If that makes any sense. And again, my opinion, people don't freak out, you know. So I got a Facebook message on my video one of these couple weeks ago, and it said, "Oh, you're given a warning for misinformation." I said it was my opinion. No need for fact checkers on my opinions.
Your personal opinion. Okay.
Hey, Venus. Yeah, go ahead and okay. What's that one now?
Your second card is knowledge, and this is telling you to seek knowledge. So I kind of feel like you know that thing that you were supposed to potentially, like, you were going to get regular payments for something.
Yeah.
From some investment. And what I'm kind of getting is something like, if it's not that, it's something similar, that you really need to review it and the terms of it. And because there's something in there that I feel like you may have missed in the process, but you need to be aware of.
Okay, I know. In my condition, I need to stay alive for 15 years to use most of my money.
Well, I think you need to be cautious about how taxes are dealt with or something.
Oh yeah. I do understand that, and I am concerned about that because I personally haven't had to do taxes the last several years because I've had disability payments and unearned income, so I haven't had to file. And actually, when I tried to file several times, they did allow me to at one, at a couple of times, and they said, "Wait a minute, you don't have any earned income. You're not supposed to even be filing." And it's like, what? Wait a minute.
Well, you have to review the terms of I don't know if it's an annuity or some sort of investment, but it's stated in there. I don't know exactly what it is, but you need to look at it. It is regarding taxes. So before you go further into this year in collecting that, you really need to be made aware of that. So
All right.
please go back and review the paperwork.
I'll
So
get some help. I will hire somebody that does that, that knows
okay,
about these things. A legitimate person, not somebody, that comes passing through.
okay,
So,
okay.
and then the third card. And then if you could take pictures of these too and send them to
Okay.
my,
Choices.
like we do.
So make the
Wow.
best choices. So this means to me that you've got some opportunities, and there's like three. One's really strong, and there's more. But you need to be very careful,
Mm-hmm.
okay? Because you're going to be very drawn to this, but there's going to be drawbacks to it, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
I do feel like it's somebody that you may be bringing onto your network. So be cautious there. Be really sit with it and go with your gut.
Yeah. Yeah. So far, we've been making positive choices with that idea. So I think, anyway. All right. Now I got something knocking around in the house. I don't know what, but
It's a
I
cat on
did.
the counter.
Yeah, maybe were you able to get a picture of that? And
That,
that might be why I had that one cat that used to come by. I think you might have moved away, maybe. But I had that gray cat that used to come by and sit on my front porch. Oh, thank you. Yep, I see him now on my other computer. And
there's
they know, animals know, animals know who you are. They know how you are with animals. They know if you love them or not, or if you're mean or not. They know that, you know. And so I had this one dog that was walking with his master to the post office, and no leash on the dog, of course. Just dog does respond to the owner, but he comes running up to me and barking at me like he wanted to attack me, and I just reached down and fed him. He didn't try to bite me or nothing, but he was just like barking crazy. Just like it barking at anything that was moving. Not me, but just barking because he saw me moving, right? So, but he was. I know if he got to know me, he'd be fine. He'd be friendly. So, but I'm usually pretty good with animals. And then let's see, we have Bobby in chat. Bobby, would you like a reading? Would you like to do more, Julie? Do you feel up to it? I would love it. uh, I can show you my new tarot card deck that I got recently. Did I show you that last week? The gold ones?
yeah.
Okay, I showed you those already. All right.
I
They are
really,
nice though.
I really want you to pull out your dowsing rods and use them.
Oh yeah, I have to. What I want to do with that is I want to get either a body camera or a GoPro camera that can clip on my hat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I can show the actual movement of the rods, and they're not anything that my hands are doing. Some people say, "Oh, it depends on how you're moving your hands, how you're tilting your." No, that's not what it is. It is actual energy that's seeking out the object or whatever you're trying to find, or energy, if you will. And it does respond differently to the energy where you are, either in your house, in the field, whatever. And Bobby, I don't know, did you say you wanted a reading? I know he was in here.
Yeah, he did. He wants 4
Okay.
cards. He wants 2
He,
readings.
yeah, he usually wants 4. Oh, he wants 2 readings. One from you and one from me.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll use my angel cards I like to use that I've done really well, comfortable with. Every day I put out a tarot card minute on my page. I think you responded once. You picked a card. But I put out 4 cards on my page, and I ask anyone who looks at the picture if they're interested and they want to share their pick, share their card that speaks to them. And it really means really nothing, but sometimes it might make someone think about something, So just a little something I like to do. Not really any set time. I just kind of do it when I feel the desire to do it. That's the thing with messages.
I don't know.
Yeah, Charles says you're very on point today.
I don't know.
All right. Yeah, you go ahead and do Bobby's first, and then I'll do his after you. Ladies first, right?
Okay. So Bobby, this is a competition card. It says summons courage and self-confidence, but that's in just what you do. You don't have to compete because what you do is unique, and because of who you are and what you bring to it. So know that, okay? You can let go of that competitiveness if there is any. The second card is 7 heavenly virtues. So this is, I'm really getting patience is important. So that is one of the virtues. So just acknowledge that and maybe take time to breathe before getting upset about anything. Ask yourself, is this worth getting upset about? And just breathe and just attend to fixing anything that you need to fix or put out fires or whatever. Excuse me. Unicorn. So invite in the magic. So you have a great personality, so use that because it's magical. Okay. And then peacock, raise your standards. Okay. And I think this is about personal development. So I think you know what I'm talking about because it's something that you're aware of and you're working on it. So I hope this helps you.
And then take a picture of those and send them to if you have.
I think I already
sent them. Huh?
I think I already sent them. So.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay, he says great cards. All right, now I got Bobby's cards already picked here. Let's see. First one. See if they match up with Julie's. First one is seeing clearly. Okay, number 12. Seeing clearly. Now, if you look at what it says there. Sorry about the moving. I'm trying to hold it still, but it's not working. And I'll definitely send pictures here. I don't know if that's going to work that way. Might have to do it that way. All right, that's better. All right, then, I couldn't read that one without the camera, so we'll do it now, okay. 8 of emotion. See, what I like about these cards, these are angel tarot cards, all right? What are they called? Yeah, guardian angel cards, okay? So I like these, and what I like about them is that it seems like that the messages kind of meet with what we need to know. You know what I mean? So let's see, and then second or third one rather is angel or no ace of emotions. Yeah, ace of emotions. See, they got the same kind of cards as regular tarot cards, you know. And so one of these times I'm actually going to do a reading with both the regular tarot card deck and this deck, and we'll see how they match up. How is this matching up with your cards? Is it close?
It sounds familiar.
And then Messenger of Abundance. So if you read, okay. So now what's nice about putting it on the video like that, where you can pause the video later and you can read it. And then I send him a picture of it so he can enjoy it and really consider what we're talking about. Now, Bobby, as always, if you like all the cards, of course, you can enjoy all the cards, but I would encourage you to pick one card that speaks to you in this reading. And I looked out to see if I could see any of the northern lights in the sky. All I saw was street lights. Couldn't see nothing. You live in a small town to get away from the big city, and they ruin it with all the lights. Really makes no sense. That's my personal battle I'm dealing with right there. I still got like 2 feet of snow in my yard, so it's melting though, finally. But what's interesting is on my basement issue, the first year I was here, or maybe the second year, but anyway, I had a flooded basement, and I had to clean out the main drain in the basement floor. I don't have a sump pump. I should probably invest in one of those. That'd be a good idea.
Yeah,
but
might make your life easier. You
yeah,
have to do it.
And what was interesting was I ended up removing the blocks from the flower bed in front of the house. What was happening was as the snow melted, the flower beds would hold in that water as the snow melted. Okay, which then of course, where did it go? In the basement. And I figured that out by accident. Like, hey, I haven't had a flooded basement yet. Hopefully I won't this time. They're talking about some flood issues. And so hopefully we don't have it here. It looks like we're going to be okay though. Looks like it's going to be mostly north that's going to be the problem. Which I'm not up there, so I don't have to worry about it. And mostly like right on the Mississippi and the Minnesota River. So keep our fingers crossed and we'll be all right. All right, so who's next?
Who's next?
Next up.
No soup for you.
That's right. Charles, would you like a reading? Genghis, I'm going to ask you again so that you know that we're thinking of you. If not, we'll just do a reading for you anyway, and then we'll just make sure. Might not be the right message. Hey, Justin, how you doing? I didn't yet, but I can. I can actually at will. That's a whole nother show, though. Cranberry vodka, please, huh? All right.
That
Well,
sounds
I don't know
good.
what. Yeah, that doesn't sound like they want to. Oh, Charles says yes before he goes to sleep. There you go, Julie. You're your next victim. So you have something that you got that you're going to be starting real soon on your
Yeah,
reinvented podcast.
I'm gonna.
I
I'm
saw the
gonna.
posting you shared.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it to a slow roll as I roll it out.
Yeah. I don't know how it's going to fit with my scheduling and my timing, but I'll sure try to catch the show anyway. I mean, if I can watch it live, I will. If I have to watch a replay or the archive, I'll have to do it that way, you know? So we'll see how that works out.
Okay, this is a really interesting spread, Charles. Go with the flow. Let things happen. So I think you know how to do this. Sometimes we get a little want to control things. But I think these go together. So your second card was confrontation. So I feel like this is in your personal life. I don't know exactly what it's connected to. I have a feeling it's maybe family, and there's a circumstance going on. But they're telling you to be self-reliant in this. So I feel like this is just, you're gonna just kind of have to take a deep, a deep breath and just let it go. I think you know what I'm talking about. It's been heated for a while. It's been a confrontation in the past, in a sense. And it's time to come to terms with it, that what you really kind of wanted is just, it's not worth it. So in this process, you're going to become the Phoenix. So this is going to make you stronger and more self-reliant in some ways. So this is an awesome card. It brings about that change, is new, shedding the old and bringing in the new. So hope that helps you.
All right. That sounds good. I don't know if you have his contact info on Facebook, but anyway.
But he can go back and watch this.
Yeah. All right. So I'm checking to see if anyone's on Facebook page or not.
You're welcome, Charles.
All right. I don't see it even listed on here. What's going on? That's weird. Why isn't it listed there? I have it selected to be listed there. So hey, I did something interesting. I invested in a Emerald Lagasse air fryer, and I got the French doors. Okay, there we are. Okay. Oh, it says you're live, not me. That's funny. That's weird. It should say I'm live. But anyway, that's okay. Are we still connected?
Yes, we are.
Okay, good.
Oh,
Does
wait.
anyone else want a reading?
I can stream this to my audience. Oh my God.
Ah, there you go. Yeah, you can. Definitely. Errt. I gotta make more room in my storage space. I know that. I try to keep the driving videos limited, or at least I try to remove them from the storage space. They're still available on YouTube and on Facebook if they want to watch me driving and going nowhere. But anyway, uh, they're taking off the studios. They do take up, an hour of time at least. So I do that. But anyway, with this oven, it's pretty amazing. I cooked the pizza. Normally in a regular oven, it says cook it at 400 degrees for 28 to 30 minutes. Well, with this air fryer, I put it on the level on the rack where it's supposed to be, and I set it at 400 degrees and for pizza, and it's cooked in 18 minutes. I mean, cooked. It's done in 18 minutes. Huh?
A pizza?
A pizza. Yeah, a supreme pizza with rising crust. So the bottom of it was crunchy, not chewy. It was thick though. It's like a kind of like a not really as thick as a pan pizza, but you know what I'm saying. It's a frozen rising crust supreme pizza that I had today, and it was super easy to cook, and it was amazing. It cooked the first time I'm trying this type of an oven, and yeah, it's interesting. So I'd recommend if you guys want a simple appliance to use, and you don't want to use your giant kitchen oven all the time. And if you have a gas oven, they're trying to take those away from you. And that's a whole other show, though. But anyway, they're trying to make everyone go electric. But with this oven, though, it's compact, but yet it's big enough to cook a whole meal. Like you wouldn't believe. It has a roaster thing. It turns so you can roast the turkey in it, a chicken, whatever. And a 26 quart internal size, So whatever that means, it can hold a lot of food. I'll put it that way. You've seen the ads on TV. Emerald Lagasse, chef guy. He's a chef. So he has come out with this French door oven design, and I have the dual zone, so I can cook like put a divider in there, and I have two sides to the oven, like having two ovens basically. I can cook two different types of sides or appetizers or whatever, in the same cooking session. I don't have to cook one and wait and then cook another. You know what I mean? You can cook it at the same time. So like if you have French fries, you got whatever you want to cook, And what's interesting is no grease. You don't have to worry about using any like when you cook a burger on the stove, you get all that grease in the pan. That ain't gonna happen here. This whole air fryer is gonna cook. It's like a microwave and a regular oven all in one. But it has a better turnout than the microwave ever had, if that makes any sense. It's actually cooked and pleasant to eat, not not rubbery in some cases when you cook stuff in the microwave. But anyway, what else you got? Uh-oh. Where'd you go? I was looking at the Facebook page and I missed you disappearing. That's why you didn't hear me.
I was I could hear you.
Okay. I was wondering why you didn't talk. Yeah.
haven't used
I got it now. I got it finally. It only took me a minute. You know, I am 62 years old. You got to cut me some slack, man. Hey, Oopie's here. Hey, Oopie, do you want a reading? Julie's doing free readings. Yeah, see, Venus has it right. I just get distracted.
Oh boy.
Venus is one of the people who know me pretty well. So.
Read us. Read us.
All right, Oopie. I didn't see you say yes. Oh, yes. Read us. And she probably means CT as well. Cybernetic toaster, in case you didn't know that. And Oopie, you gotta get toast going around. Cinnamon toast for me. And Bobby gets free fried beans. Well, as long as you put baking soda in them, then that'll help that'll help your gas problem later. At least that's what they say. Yeah, Oopie did some readings today. Oh, go ahead.
This is for Oofy. Face your fears. Release the power of fear. I feel like this is like job related, like a jobs type situation. I don't know if you do. I don't know. It's something kind of like that. Archangel Gabriel, messenger of creativity and hope. I do feel these are kind of connected. All your cards are connected tonight. Peacock, raise your standards. So I kind of feel like there's been like this discussion, and you've had to ask, or you need to ask for what you want. And I feel like there may be money involved in this situation as well somehow. It's like you need to ask for what you want, and there's this discussion going on. And it's kind of scary because there's a fear of like being let go. Some sort of feeling like being let go. And this is telling you to be self-reliant. And I don't feel like there's a break, but there's a fear of like a split in some capacity. Okay. Mucho reparo. More sparkles. Okay. So that was for Oofy. Ron, are you ready?
For me to do
Or
CT or? Oh, I thought you were gonna do it. I thought you were gonna do it. Yeah.
I'll do CT, and then you can, go back to napping.
Okay. Thank you. Now with all my tech issues, it's been stressful here. Things not working right when they should be. And physical parts of the tech issues that are falling apart that shouldn't be. Those are practically 2 months old for the headphones there.
Okay, this is for CT. Dolphin, don't worry, be happy. Okay. This person should not be worrying. Friendship. So CT needs to build those friendships. I feel like this person already has like friends, and maybe there's some that they don't talk too much and they really need to water those and help them grow, because I feel like there's some connections there that will help this person grow. They need to express their sensuality or go with the flow. Okay, go with the flow. And then, the 7 heavenly virtues. Know your goodness. Okay, so I almost feel like there was sort of a friendship break, and there's some grief there, and they don't feel good enough, and they are good. I don't know if that friendship can be repaired. Maybe not right now, but there's other friendships out there for CT. So hope this helps CT.
All right. There you go. Is that it for Upi, I guess? Upi and CT? Spring toast, yeah.
You're welcome.
There you go. All right, Venus, would you like a reading? Sarah is CT's alter ego.
Hey, Ron.
Yep, I'm here. I'm here. I was reading what Bobby was writing about the friend who moved to different country and her Starlink equipment didn't work where she was at. So that is good, Bobby. Thank you. There was something that happened to it in the setup, and Venus would like a reading. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Julie, no. Okay, she's requesting you. See, they like you. I told you they like you. They missed you. Well, Julie's been kind of busy though. I gotta admit, she's been doing good, just hanging on.
I'm still here, man.
Yeah,
Here.
yeah. You're doing good, just hanging on with all you got going on. So, but yeah, that's tough. So,
Things are interesting. Well,
okay, I'll do one after you. You do yours first, and then I'll do one.
okay. Venus, Lady V. Owl, follow your intuition. So I feel like you're going more with your logic rather than your gut. So keep that in check when you're making decisions. I think you need a vacation, and maybe that's the reason why you're kind of maybe a little off and not going with your gut, is you need downtime. You need time to reflect on things. I kind of feel like out of breath. So, you really need to take time for yourself every day. Like, if you're not doing it, like, do nothing. So you need to decompress. I'm just, because I can't breathe. You need to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Confrontation. So pick your battles wisely. I feel like this is in the house. So maybe just stand back and observe. And observe not just the situation, but yourself and how you're reacting, and really take a bird's eye view of what the situation is. Don't drink blood on the first date. So I don't know what this is about, but I feel like I'm in the kitchen, and there's like the refrigerator. There's like, that's where I'm at when I'm seeing this. So I don't know what that is. Maybe you're going to make drinks. I don't know. So originality. Blaze your own trail. So maybe you are feeling stagnated, and you need to go with your intuition and have that downtime, so you have that inspiration to bring more of your authenticity to you. Okay, maybe it's the kitchen. Okay, I don't know what's going on in the kitchen, but it's like, okay, maybe you just like things on the counter. I don't know what's going on there. Decide what you're going to keep and what you're going to get rid of. Oh, geez. Perhaps just get a suitcase to put the knife and the hatchet and the margaritas and the suntan lotion in, just leave. Throw a match. Okay, Ron, your turn.
All right. So the first card for Venus.
I am so sorry.
Oh, wow.
It's that freaking kitchen, man.
Okay, a happy change. There's your happy change. So that's right along with you need to take a vacation. So, number 10, a happy change. I'm going to take a picture of these for you, Venus, so don't worry.
Oh, my. Get rid of the rest of them.
All right. And then, see if this matches with any of yours. Ace of Thought. Okay.
Yeah, I kind of told her to stand back and observe and think about what's
Yeah,
going
there you go. That's pretty good, right? That kind of matches.
Yeah.
And the happy change, of course, could be a vacation, time away.
Thank you, V.
Yeah. All right. And then Guardian of Emotions. There you go. Keep your head straight.
Yeah.
See that?
She got the virtue card.
So I think I'm in line with you again, Julie, and I didn't do nothing but shuffle the cards. So it's not like I set them up after you did your reading. No, I just shuffled them. And inner strength. And there you go, number 13. That's weird that's number 13, isn't it?
It's,
Anyway.
I would interpret it as self-mastery.
Yeah. And she is working on that as well, of course. I think we all are. That's why we're here.
Well, I
Right?
think she's having more of a like, oh my God moment.
Right.
An epiphany.
All right. Let me get that picture for you. The ones who I can, I'll send it to them.
You need like a shower curtain for your kitchen so you can just close it off and you don't have to lick.
Yeah, there you go.
Mental block.
Reminds me of funny post that was about Hillary Clinton, and this was funny. So, and she had on a dress that looked like a shower curtain, and somebody in the when they posted the picture, they said, "Oh, and then we need to arrest her, and she has to return our shower curtain too." I thought it was funny personally because it did look like a shower curtain. Kind of like when Carol Burnett used the fancy drapes in the living room for a dress. Remember that one?
Carol Burnett?
Ever watched? Yeah, if you ever watched Carol Burnett, and she had an event to go to. She had a dress and it really nice, and she didn't have anything. But they had some like velvet curtains, in the kitchen or in the dining room rather. And you said kitchen earlier, so I was saying kitchen. But yeah, you had the velvet curtains in the living room or dining room, whatever. Anyway, she grabbed them with the curtain rod, so she had this thing sticking out the side of her and everything like that. It was pretty darn funny. You need to look at that episode. It's pretty funny. And of course, everybody was not even knowing what she was going to do because it was all kind of like ad lib, just kind of like at the moment.
My favorite piece from that show is The Dentist with Harvey Korman and he's all.
And he's like reading how to do it, right when he's supposed to do it.
Yeah, and he's already like numb to hand and he can't keep the book open.
Then he gets him in the leg or something and can't walk. Yeah. And I like Tim Conway when he did the old man,
Yeah.
And then he would fall down the stairs and he'd always carry on the sound effects after he was already on the bottom of the stairs. They keep the sound effects.
That show was the best because like they were always trying to get the other one to laugh on camera, and you knew it, and it was that made it even more funny because that Harvey Korman, he was trying not to laugh and he was laughing through the whole thing.
Yeah. And then when Tim Conway, of course, played the old man again, and he's sitting there next to the person they were trying to talk to him, and he had, hearing aids in, which never seemed to work. And they'd always have to yell at him when they're talking to him.
Oh, man.
Yeah, those are the good old TV days when it meant something,
Right.
Because when they were making fun of things, it actually was sharing, what they were thinking was important to share, their message, And even though it was a comedy piece, it was a message they're trying to get out to people. Hey, wake up, look at what we're talking about,
A lot of things are just way over politicalized nowadays.
Yeah, and then it was more freestyle. It was no set rules about it, really. And you can get away with a lot of different things. I mean, like if you ever watch In Living Color, and it was mostly a black person's production and show, but yet they had white people there telling black jokes or black people, talking about white people. Nobody cared. Nobody seemed to really make a big deal about it. Couldn't do that today, though. You couldn't do In Living Color today. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And I don't think you could without making somebody mad. So I think it was on TV at the right time, and they were able to get a lot of messages out that they had to get out about getting along and being friends with everyone. Not even if they like on In Living Color, you had a guy handyman, the handicapped guy, right? But he would be like a hero guy, and he could fly like into the scene, and he'd come tumbling in through the window, and he'd. If you ever seen it? If you ever seen the show, you know what I'm talking about. Not that I'm laughing at handicapped people, but that was a funny scene. And then you had Fire Marshal Bill, which was John Kerry, or
Jim
not
Carrey.
Jim Carrey, yeah, not John, Jim Carrey. And yeah, he did Fire Marshal Bill, which he always caused more damage than he was supposed to do. Always be starting a fire instead of trying to put one out. Oh boy. Yes, that was good old days. So, what was some of your favorite? Did you have any favorite TV shows besides Carol Burnett?
Well, I'm a little bit younger than you, but
Yeah.
I was around 8, and like, Gilligan's Island.
Oh yeah.
There was like Shaun Na, the Muppets came on. I never really got into Dallas. That wasn't my show. It was
I did watch it, but yeah.
The Love Boat. There was another show, not the Love. Oh, Fantasy Island came on after the Love Boat.
Yeah.
I do have other favorites. I just don't remember right now.
So I remember Star Trek, of course, the original series. It was only like 3 years that it was, live originally, and then it dropped off because they felt nobody liked it, but yet everybody liked it. And actually, they wanted more of it, and so they brought back other series, of course. And of course, untold movies and things, And now with the streaming platforms, you got different shows that are out dealing with Star Trek and from the creator, Gene Roddenberry.
Gunsmoke and Jerry Springer.
Oh, there you go.
That's quite the combination.
So I had a question on one of the shows that Maureen was doing a show with David J. Paul on Tuesday night. He's a director actor, and they're in a movie together that they're working on, and they are putting out. And anyway, they invite the people that are in the cast on the show, and they talk about things about the entertainment world and things like that. But one of the questions they had that David J. Paul brought up, he said, "Who would you want to be in a movie with? From the old." Well, it could be any time frame. It doesn't have to be from the old time, but from any time frame. Who would be your favorite person you'd want to be in a movie with? And I personally said, well, John Wayne and Chuck Norris.
Those are my ones.
John Wayne is a good shot, and Chuck Norris can kick their ass if they survive. So,
I don't know why Dom DeLuise came to mind, but I definitely want to be Robin Williams. That would be interesting.
Yeah, there you go.
Ed Sullivan. That doesn't. Oh, American Bandstand.
Oh yeah.
Clark. That's not a movie, but.
Yeah, that's fine. It could be actors or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So you have people dancing while you're trying to survive.
All in the Family.
Yeah, All in the Family. Now that was
Mindy.
a show that brought a lot of awareness to the race issue. Okay, but yet what you knew about Carroll O'Connor, if you knew him in real life, he was a really good person actually. And but most of the things that he had to bring out into the light, it kind of made him look different than what he really. Of course, that's part of acting, I guess.
Mickey Mouse Show.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse show. Oh my gosh.
What? M-O-U-S-E. Oh my.
Billy and Mandy. Who is that? Mork and Mindy. Oh boy. Lone Stranger. My
Right.
friend Flick. Who is my friend Flick? I never saw that one. What is that one about?
I always wanted to do like Mystery Science 3000. I always
Oh,
wanted to
yeah,
be one of the robots, like
I used to watch that. I used to watch that. Yeah. What I liked about that show was, of course, the way they wrote it, they were the first show like that to have like the cast of the show, basically the characters in the front row of the theater with their silhouettes, as they're
yeah.
looking at the show. And so that was not done, that was something you didn't do. But somebody thought it would be funny to do that and make it part of the show. And that's what really got me to watch the show. Like, why are they watching the show? They're in the show. Why are they watching it?
Yeah.
So,
I love this show. I used to watch this with my kids when they were growing up. I don't know if it's a really underrated show, but Malcolm in the Middle. Oh my God, that show was so funny to me.
yeah. And then Charles said Lassie.
And then Bryan Cranston was in Malcolm in the Middle, and then he did Breaking Bad, and then they did the alternate ending of Breaking Bad with it was a spinoff of Newhart with
Oh, yeah.
his wife from Malcolm in the Middle. That was so great.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, yeah, I remember Newhart, and of course, I remember the original Cheers. That's a long time ago. And strange thing was, we had certain times. I don't know how I even watched some of these shows because a lot of times we had to go to bed by 10 p.m. in California time. So some of the shows, I guess most of the shows were done by then anyway. But mom and dad had control of the TV. We couldn't just watch whatever we wanted. So we kind of had to watch what they were watching. Hopefully it was something we wanted to watch. And a lot of times my dad on the Sunday night, usually I think was it Sunday night or Saturday night, the Lawrence Welk show, and be like, oh gosh, we gotta listen to this for 2 hours.
Yeah.
There's two other channels at least, but again, mom and dad were in charge of the TV. We wasn't like today where everyone has their own TV in their room or their phone or their whatever.
Multiple
Yeah,
devices.
it was a whole different.
Dirty After Dark. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rin
and
Tin
then,
Tin.
you're old if you can remember the television going to static, like, and before that,
After it played the American Beautiful, right?
yes,
They'd always play that at the end, and then they'd go to snow. You
yep,
know, you're like, oh man, now I gotta go to bed. Of course, you have nothing else to watch. It's not like now you can get on the computer watch a movie. You know, now you got that option. Though you have that option of nothing on TV, which everything's on TV. There is something always on TV now, so it's not like you have to worry about that cutoff point. And then what's nice is that now you can go to a streaming platform, watch your favorite show, whatever. So that's the thing that I like about in today's world. Of course, there's a lot that comes along with that. sometimes a lot of trouble that comes along with that. So you got to be careful about what you're watching and who you're connecting with. But yeah, so yeah, we don't have any drive-ins near me.
Fireball XL2.
I don't remember that one. When was that, Charles?
I don't know what that is. I'm a Scooby Doo.
Yeah, Fireball XL2. I'm gonna have to look that one up. So, but yeah, so I'm shopping for some new headphones. I was looking at these ones that I found, but they want to take like 10 days to send them to me after I pay for them. And like, what the hell?
Oh.
Oh, they use puppets. Oh, okay. Real hand puppets. And but this one has the playtime is 80 hours. Can you believe that? On a Bluetooth headphones, the playtime is 80 hours. So that's pretty darn good. Because most of them that I see are like 30, you know? And if you use them for your regular enjoyment of listening to the computer and doing shows and everything like that, they're gonna run out of power pretty quick, you know? And if I have 80 hours of playtime, that's pretty good. That's a lot of shows, a lot of things I can listen to. So, and then I just have to charge them up when I go to sleep eventually. King Kong and then King Kong and Godzilla.
Too loud, Danny.
Now we got Charles awake and ready to talk about movies. He's gonna go to sleep if he doesn't look at a movie first. Agua Chambra. What? What's that?
Aquaman.
There you go. Well, see, you said Aquaman up there.
Talking about like the what do you call that? Old Spanish or
Oh yeah, yeah.
the novellas.
All right, thank you, Venus, and we will see you next time. Okay. And you have a great night and try to get some rest. Don't let that kitchen beat you up tonight.
Stay out of the kitchen or tell everyone else to stay out of the kitchen. They won't listen.
And Oopie said, no Tacoville for you. Especially now, at this time of night. Well, it's Friday. There ain't no tacos on Friday. Tacos on Tuesday. Right?
Yeah. Huh.
So if you could go anywhere, let me ask you this strange question. If you could go anywhere, anytime, there's no time limit, no restrictions on the decades or even the universe, it wouldn't make any difference. What I'm asking is if you can go anywhere, where would you want to go?
Me?
Yeah. And anyone in chat, if you want to answer that question, you can put it in the chat.
Does it have to be in this time period?
No, anytime period, anytime decade or past, present, future.
Visit my past life people. I'd be like, okay, Tom Paine, show me what's up here, dude. I'd be like, okay, Gilgamesh, come on, let's.
That's interesting. You said that.
This isn't gonna go down because like you really created all this work for me for thousands of years.
Yeah.
So
And when I heard that question asked on Marine Show, I think that was one of the questions he asked as well, something similar. That's where it came up in my head from the memory. And I thought I'd like to go to Athens, Greece, before it fell in the water. You know, before it went into the water. You know what I mean?
Atlantis?
Yeah, Atlantis. There you go. Not Athens. Athens is still there. Yeah, Atlantis is what I'd like to see before it got in the ocean. You know, and I'd like to know, first of all, how did they create a city that was so amazing, and then um, what really ruined them, and how did they, you know, what caused that flood in the ocean, and how it wound up in the ocean. You know, at least that's what they suspect, anyway. Now, remember, this is all just commenting on some odd conversation. Nothing is as a matter of fact, so no fact checkers, please. So anyway, yeah, so that's just my curiosity is where, you know, what actually happened in that whole thing. Was it a meteor that hit and caused the destruction? Was it God, so-called God, that caused the destruction? You know, like Sodom and Gomorrah, you know, in the Bible? And
You know, I really haven't tapped into this. I just did now. But before Atlantis went under, or was it after? It was an outside force that contributed to it going under, and there was illness. There was survivors somehow, and they got sick. Interesting. I don't know. I have to tap into that sometime deeper.
well, there you go. That'd be fun to look into. And there was a guy. There was nothing I wanted somebody to look into. I can't remember if it was you or if I asked who else I might have asked this question to. I think maybe Maureen. I was asking because she does the remote viewing as well. But I was thinking the last survivor of the Arizona USS Arizona in Hawaii in Pearl Harbor passed away just recently, and it would be interesting to do a remote view of that. And I've been there a few times, and it wasn't when I was doing this kind of research, so I didn't really tap into that energy. Although that was when I was in the service. You know, we went to Pearl Harbor each time we went by Hawaii, of course, and so we'd go to the memorial there and pay our respects and whatever, you know. And so anyway, I never really felt any strange energy there, good or bad or anything else. But I didn't really look at it in that sense at that time in 1981 and 1983.
Right.
Okay, I was 125 years old, so I wasn't really into that research type of. I wish I was. It would have made things more sensible, I think. You know, but and now that I am into it, you know, several years later, I'm at the right time. I'm where I need to be as far as trying to understand this whole thing about remote viewing and about knowing what people were into and how they were connected and everything like that.
Are they channeling or are they remote viewing?
Remote viewing, the locations that I think is good ones to look at that are real and that there is still activity in those areas. Like for instance, the USS Arizona still has the engine stack above the water level, which means it's still active in a sense.
That's a
No,
misnomer. That's
no. What I mean is by active is that it's not completely sunk and submerged and gone. So according to the Navy rules and regulations, because it is still sticking out of the water, it is considered still active. Okay, and that you can look that up if you want.
well,
Anybody that wants fact check, look that up. Go
it's
ahead.
been decommissioned. It's not. It's
Yeah,
no.
well, what I mean by it's not completely gone is what that means. Okay, because the harbor itself isn't that deep, so it's not gonna submerge. It's stuck on the bottom of the harbor. It ain't gonna go anywhere.
My
But
great
the stack,
grandfather served on the USS Arizona, and
yeah.
he lied about his age. And this was before. It was really before World War One. He was like 13, and I have a picture that he took of the USS Arizona in dry dock.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
How would he get on there at 13? He must have been a
he
big
lied.
kid.
He was a tall man,
Yeah.
so he must have been a tall, lanky kid. Um, smooth talker. Yeah.
I don't
So
know why you'd want to lie to go to war, or even if you
he
believe in
actually
what you're.
he did communications
Okay.
and served his time, was honorably discharged, and then he reenlisted.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's probably old enough at that time
Well, yeah, by that time. Yeah, and
when he re-enlisted.
he missed World War One and World War Two, so he was in between those.
Yeah.
So
And I missed any wartime. I was in peacetime, 1980 to 84. I was on the U.S. September. I said this many times. LPD 9, U.S. September. It was landing personnel dock, I call it. And we carried 1,200 Marines on our ship. All right, so there was a lot of activity there. We actually had 2 deaths that were, well, one that I remember. There might have been one other that I don't remember, but I know it happened. So is that kind of weird? And this was in my service time when I was on the ship. And so, what happened in the well deck deballast fills up with water, and it brings on the Beechcraft that, like, 50 or 100 Marines are on this Beechcraft, right? And so they get let out of there. And what happened was when one guy was trying to control the floating craft that's, basically free floating in the well deck, crushed his head, and that was it. Gone, 18-year-old kid, dead, 'cause he didn't pay attention to the rules or something. I don't know what happened exactly. But that was kind of weird to see that when I was only, 19 myself, you know, and my first Westpac, and that was kind of tough to see, you know.
that's
And
terrible.
I didn't see it, but I was on the bridge when it happened, and I had nothing to do with it. But I was still in the command center of the ship when it happened, on the bridge. I mean, and I was on the what they call the engine order telegraph or lee helm, which controls the engine speed. Well, not controls it, but tells the engine room how to put their speeds. And of course, I could only do any kind of action if I'm ordered to do something. I don't just randomly do something, in that state on that position. So you have to get an order to do something to make it happen. But we had a crew of 500 crew members on the ship of our own, and when we had Marines on board, it was 1,200 Marines on board. Now the ship is 550. You can look it up if you want. The ship is 550 feet long, and I can't remember if it was 16 or 18 frames wide, but it was a flat bottom ship, so it could get into the shore of the lake or of the bay, from the open water to drop the Marines onto the shore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, with the flat bottom, you can be balanced and sort of well deck up water and then let the Marines out in their beach craft, and then they go onto the beach and do whatever they're doing, whether it's wartime or training or whatever. But that's interesting because when you're out on the open water, flat bottom ship is not the best thing to have. you know,
No.
so, and it kind of rocks around a little bit. Not like one with a regular V-shaped keel where it cuts through the water as it's going, 30 knots at it, which is like, 60 miles an hour or something like that, maybe 40 miles an hour. I can't remember what 30 knots is in the mileage, miles per hour, but we had a high speed of 21 knots, which wasn't that much. But we got everywhere. We got to Australia. So a long time ago. 1980. I went to, or 81 rather. 81 went to Australia first in Sydney, and then 83 we didn't go to Australia that time, but we went to some of the other regular stops like the Philippines and things like that. So, we got one person in Facebook who's in
Hey,
Facebook.
Ron,
Yeah.
can I get a reading?
Yeah. Did you want one? Did
Yeah.
I do one for you? I thought I did one for you.
And then
Ah.
if you've got a good idea that we talk about a new theory of everything.
Huh. I don't know. That might be another show, Julie.
That's a long discussion.
But I can tell you one.
We don't know it.
Yeah, I can tell you one time when I was, I never been afraid of death. Never ever been afraid of death. I've been afraid of the dark, but not of death. Does that make sense? I don't understand that. I think the problem is being afraid of dark. You don't know what you're facing, right? And I had this problem when I was young, and I told this story before, I think. But I was at my grandmother's cabin in Guerneville, California. You know where that's at?
Guerneville, yeah.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I'd always say Gurneyville, like the medical gurney, Gurneyville. Guerneville, those. Yeah. But we were in the redwood forest there if you know where the Russian River is.
It's north.
Northern California and Guerneville area, Russian River. And the cabin was on a creek called West Austin Creek, which had flowed into the Russian River. But when it got dark nighttime, when the lights were out inside the cabin, like when you went to bed, and me and my brother slept in bunk beds, and our grandparents slept in the bed next to us, right? So,
Yeah.
but the thing is, when I looked at my hand in the middle of the night, I couldn't see my hand. Now, mentally I could see my hand. I can imagine where it was because it's connected to me, right? But I couldn't see it physically. And that was kind of scary. And I'd always be screaming at, 2 o'clock in the morning. Because I was worried about, where am I? What's happening? Why can't I see anything? But I finally got that over with, and I got through that, and I realized there's no need to be afraid of the dark. You just need to understand it and what's going on, and where we are. Like in Supernatural, the show Supernatural, where they go into the big empty, and it's all dark, and you can't see nothing. Nobody's there, just them yelling, "Where is anybody?"
Yeah.
And so that's where I was at I don't know, like 7 years old or something like that, And so, but I wasn't afraid of dying, but I was afraid of that darkness like that. Okay, but then I realized a couple of years later, even before I got into this spiritual, mystical stuff, I realized, wait, I'm my own light. I don't have to worry about that darkness anymore. You know, so I can have my own light. Don't have to worry about the darkness. And I learned that then, and I wasn't involved with that then, but I learned about it. Okay, here we go. I don't have any of the important cards, but these are important anyway. 10 of thought. Okay. So look at the picture and you can kind of get a visual of that. And I'll send you that. I thought I already did this, but maybe I didn't. We're doing others, I think, and I might have forgot. Okay, 7 of action. So you see the colors, the blue, the red, and the looks like the umbrella, doesn't it? Looks like she's carrying a purse, maybe. Oh well, I'll send it to you. You can figure it out. I gotta work on my. I gotta get some better glasses than you too. That's something I need to do. You got 2 of these from this suit here. Actually, you got 3 of these actually. 7 of thoughts.
That's 2 sevens.
Yep. 2 sevens and a 9, right?
A 10.
Oh wait, no. No, you
10.
had a 10 of thoughts and 7 of thoughts and a 9, and then you have one of the. I guess it's a higher card. It's a helper of thoughts. I don't know if that's in the early stage of the suit or what, but you like birds, don't you?
I have association with ravens.
Well, that's not a raven. That's not a raven.
It's what is that?
Yeah. But there you go. All right, let me get a picture of those for you. There you go. What does that say to you? How do you like that? 10 of thoughts. All right. So 10 of thoughts, you got, looks like a woman looking out a window, right? Looks like she's in some kind of wedding dress or something. I don't know if I'm looking at it correctly. But then on one side, it's brown color. Same picture, but like the back of her. I don't know. Weird. But anyway. Then you have the woman with the red dress. And looks like a hat. No, she has a hat on there. Not an umbrella. But she's carrying a purse, it looks like. Yeah. And then, let me see here. Alright, then you got the 7 of thoughts. Oh. And you have, I can't even see that picture. I'm just going to take a picture for you. The last one is the helper of thoughts, which I think that's before the 10 of thoughts, if I remember. I'll get that figured out. All right. Well, that's pretty good, huh? 7 of action, 7 of action, and 7 of thoughts. Those are your 2 sevens.
It must match.
And the 10 of thoughts and a helper of thoughts. So which one do you think reaches out to you?
Well, they're all connected, Ron.
Yep, I agree. I
I
got my finger in that one. Sorry about that, but that's right. Good.
I just have so much to think about, Ron. It's like
Yep.
I have very big messages to share, and it's very important that I'm very well thought out before I share that with people. Otherwise, it's liable to come out really jumbled and unclear and but sometimes you just gotta say what you gotta say.
Yeah. All right, there you go.
Thank you. It's a
Yeah.
it's a 1077. The check's in the mail.
1077. Yeah. 1077, and the helper working with those numbers. There you go. Okay, now Oopie says you are all dead. You just don't know it yet. That might be. But I'll keep enjoying this life as long as I'm here. I'll do the best I can. I plan on going on a trip to New York for the Pine Bush event again this year. So that's my plan.
It's
And then
it's come up in the past, Ron. We've talked about it, and it's been in like a couple of your readings.
it's a good thing, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the other thing is who is over on Facebook there? Can you see that at all? I don't know if you can see that at all. Someone's over on Facebook. That's usually Crystal.
I shared to my pages too, so
Okay.
I don't know who it is.
So find out if you can get there and see if they want a reading. They might want one.
They should hear you.
Yeah, but I don't see their messages though. So good night, Charles. People are falling asleep there. But yeah, and then I plan on going to there's a paranormal event in Pennsylvania, one that Maureen is involved with, and a bunch of the people that I talk with are involved with, and it's called the Gettysburg Battle Bash, right? And it's an opportunity for me to test my abilities. I'll be able to use some of my spiritual investigating tools, including my dowsing rod, and I'll be able to check that out. So I'm thinking about doing that. That's in July. So June is the Pine Bush event, June 3rd and 4th, and then the Gettysburg Battle Bash is 14th to the 16th or something like that in July. So I'll make sure it's on their page. It's on their website. So I just got to figure out when to get a room saved or make sure I get a place to stay. That'll be interesting, though, to be part of that and getting to meet some people that I always talk to but never get to meet them in person. So it'd be good to meet them in person. And that's why I like going to the Pine Bush event. I get to meet a lot of people. And this year, I get to meet Kathleen Martin. She's supposed to be there.
Cool.
And I've interviewed her before. A little bit over an hour of interview on this show, actually. And we were doing just the audio at that time, but what's interesting, we had like maybe 10 people. No, we might have had 6 people in chat probably at that time. But she's used to doing conferences with 500 people. Talking about her aunt and uncle with the UFO thing, Betty and Barney Hill. And so I'll get to meet her in person, and that will be amazing in my opinion. So the last several years that I've gone, I think I've gone 6 years. I think it's been like 6 years. This year might be 6 years. or maybe this year is 7 years. I can't remember. But I've met a lot of interesting people. And what I've found out so far is that everyone that I've met, they're they're the same people in real life. They're not anything different. You know, a lot of times you don't know who you're going to meet in person. You know, and you talk to them online, and there's somebody they're pretending to be. You know, whatever. And you meet them in person, and it's like somebody totally different. But so far, knock on wood, um, it's been fortunate that I've got to meet the same person that I talked to online, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
So, and so no troubles, no issues with personality conflicts or anything like that. We all get along fine, and that's pretty amazing too. So we all come from different places, you know, and we got different things going on in life, and you don't know what our personalities are going to be when we all get together. A lot of different levels of education as well. Some have degrees, you know, some have uh, abilities and information and things like that that I never got to explore. Never wanted to, I guess, probably. I got my own experiences. But I never really wanted to go the education route because it was too much work for my mental ability because of what I'm dealing with inside internally,
Mm.
and there's just a lot of struggle with learning. I'm surprised I got through high school and graduated and got my diploma and everything like that. You know, the first time, and didn't have to take a GED or anything like that. You know, I got a real diploma, and then of course went into the service and learned all that. My training in the service was a little bit challenging because of my learning abilities, you know, trying to get everything straight in my mind and not try to not try to rearrange the way that it's supposed to be understood.
Mm.
But what's interesting is I talk about this thing about we got a few minutes yet, so might as well use up the time, I suppose. Um, I talk about this idea I've shared with you before called eternal existence, right?
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is that we are from the beginning of time. Our
Mhm.
human souls are from the beginning of time. All right. Now there's a verse in the Bible, I can't remember where it is, but it says that you are made a little lower than the angels, but you will be higher than the angels. Okay. There's also a verse that talks about, I knew you before you were in your mother's womb. Now, what the heck does that mean? This is why I talk about eternal existence for our human soul. Okay. Now we have what you call free will. What the Bible says we have free will, but I don't know that we quite understand that term. And I don't know that we have complete free will. You know what I mean?
Why
In
wouldn't
other
we
words,
have free will if we were
all
given free?
right, okay, we're locked into a receive or don't receive the gift of eternal life, which we already had eternal life from the beginning
Why would it be taken away?
because we don't believe in Jesus Christ. If somebody doesn't believe, according to what the Bible says, if somebody doesn't believe in Jesus Christ, then they're not saved. And if they pass away before they make that decision, then they're going to be away. They're going to be put away from God. That's what it says. All right. And they talk about hell, you know, lake of fire and everything like that, whether you believe in it or not. Now, there's a lot of things I don't understand about that because we have communication with human spirits that have passed, or at least what we suspect are human spirits. All right. And then the issue is we don't know who they are really. It could be a
So,
demon playing a trick.
So, in what respects are you talking about talking to human spirits? Are you talking through paranormal
When,
means, or
yeah,
are you
through like a
about psychic
electronic, yeah,
medium?
both, in both cases. If you use a psychic medium or if you use a electronic device, I have a few of them that I use, and then you get a response that would be like, "Oh, that's a human spirit." Like I was using my Ghost app the other day, all right, on
But
my phone,
it,
and I was asking just openly in my sitting here in my chair, just asking openly, "Okay, who's here?" And I got two names that came across during that session, and then it got kind of weird, and I had to turn it off. So sometimes when it gets to weird answers, I turn it off like right away, so I'm not affected by it, you know. And but what the names come across was Brianna, and Christopher. Now I have a nephew that's named Christopher, but I don't know of anyone else in my well, I guess Chris Elliott, one a guy that's online, astronomer. But there isn't a whole lot of people named Christopher that I would know. And then it talked about he's guilty and cop and whatever. And I don't know what the heck was going on with that story on those words that
and
were
so
coming across.
related to the Bible. So what are you saying about spirit?
Okay. In the Bible, I'm going to say theology now. In my opinion, what the Bible teaches is that it talks about, and there's also a verse in the Bible that says, "As it is appointed unto man once to die, then the judgment." That doesn't mean that you come back to earth and you float around and you harass people or to say hello to people or whatever. That means you wait until Judgment Day, and then your fate is decided at the great seat of judgment, right? At the
So
Christ judgment. And then you get sent away from God, which is to hell, supposedly. Now, again, I don't think we understand this completely because we're talking to someone, and some of them are people that we know because we know their voice, we know their names, they come through when we ask them to. You know what I'm saying? And so, how are they waiting for Judgment Day asleep, waiting? They're not floating around talking to people. And any other verse that also comes to mind is to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord or with God. Okay? So that doesn't mean that you're going to be coming back and forth. But then again, I don't know if that's completely understood correctly. There's a lot of things because of our human limitations of our physical self. We are very limited in understanding a lot of this stuff.
okay,
So
so
we
what does
only
that have to do with free will and being
okay. The free will part is that if we have free will, we can come back and forth and not be waiting for judgment. We don't have
no
to be.
the I'm taking this is my definition of free will is in this existence and the other existence after the death of the body, so to speak, that we still have free will.
Okay.
It's never taken away from us. We always have the choice in eternal existence to choose to be with the Lord or not to be with the Lord. Or,
Okay. That's a good explanation. I like that.
and
Yeah.
so um it's always our choice. And so here's my experience with a couple of my grandfathers that they did not cross over. And that was
Okay.
their choice because guess what?
They
They
had free
have
will.
free will, right? So
Right.
um they had emotional emotional attachments to the physical reality. So in one instance, well, actually, in both instances, there was guilt. Okay, so in my experience with talking to them, one of them wanted forgiveness, and I know the other one, he didn't really need forgiveness. It was more he had an illegitimate son, or excuse me, daughter, that nobody knew about. So there was some sort of guilt there because he kept it secret. And so once they were released from those attachments, because I worked with a medium in both these instances, and they crossed over. So any soul that's wandering around here on Earth has some sort of attachment. They have an emotional issue.
That's a good way to explain that. Yeah.
They really do have an emotional issue, but it's kind of interesting. I didn't really get to watch a lot of like the woo-woo shows I watched in the past, and recently I got to watch the Dead Files, so I was watching that, and I was really noticing that, or picking up that there's a lot of like witchcraft that was used and curses that were used, and a lot of that's like residual in these cases that they go out and investigate. So I found that very interesting to look at from a different perspective, because I guess I really haven't watched that show since before I really became a psychic.
And the hardest part about all this is trying to understand it on our level, on our human side of things.
Well,
okay?
the part of it is we've been taught, our society's taught us certain things that is considered normal. We weren't taught these things, and these things are actually normal, like psychic abilities.
Yeah.
Everybody has them. It's just that our society hasn't embraced that like it should, and go, well, this is natural. This is because kids come into this world with it, so you can't call these kids evil. They're innocent, and they have these abilities, and everybody needs to develop them, because there are things going on in this world, and they have for thousands of years, and they're not good things.
Yeah, that's right. And then
having those senses is a form of protection.
Yeah. And what I like to think about with our so-called eternal existence, I don't know what you think about that, but in my opinion, I believe that when we were created as a human being, when we were born as in this timeline, we were designated to do our jobs that we currently have. Okay? Now, for instance, I know for my own self, in the past, I used to navigate, I was a navigator as an officer in someone's Navy, maybe, England's Navy or some kind of European Navy or something. Being Danish, I would imagine probably from Denmark, obviously. And so I used to navigate the big ship, the 3-mast sailing ship, all right? Now, what's interesting is that my job in this U.S. Navy in 1980 was navigation.
You know,
Where did
Ron,
I, where did I learn that?
you know, I, I did open your records, and you
Yeah,
do this in the future. I mean,
yeah,
all time and space are existing simultaneously at
yeah,
once,
yeah.
and so
And
um,
my future is like 3,000 whatever the year. Like 3,500 or 3,000 somewhere around
there's
there.
there's an element of information there, and it's not
Hmm.
necessarily, it is navigating, and that's a necessary skill in what you do, but the key for you is that it's the information. You're in a sense, you're a messenger,
Hmm.
um and it's the information that's important rather than the navigation, so to speak. The
Yeah,
navigation is more of a tool in order for you um, to acquire and disseminate the information that
yeah,
you get through this process.
yeah. And then what I learned from my last name, my current last name, and it's a Danish name, but what it means in essence is 12. It means the number 12. Well, as I had some further revelation, I'm not sure how or where it came from. You know that space is divided up into sections, right? Our known universe, and I get this from Star Trek Voyager. They talk about they were they were blasted from they went through a wormhole from the Delta Quadrant to the Gamma Quadrant, right? Well, we don't know where the Gamma Quadrant is. It's not in our realm of our universe that we know, but we know what we call quadrants, what I call quadrants, which I had this message from. I'm not sure where from it came, but you have A, B, C, and D quadrants for our known universe. So basically, like you know, north, south, east, and west. Okay, but A, B, C, and D. Now, the number 12 is important. Everyone that I believe I know sat on a council. You know what I'm talking about? Like in the Who series or Doctor Who series, they had a council of whatever. But anyway, so looking at this situation, the message I got was, I'm on a council of 12. All right. Now this council of 12 decides what every person does from whatever time they became about, and then when they became human or whatever. So don't blame me for what's going on in your life. But anyway, the point is, the Council of 12 in each quadrant directs the life of each person or any kind of alien or anything that's created
Are
and
you
is.
are you talking about the Galactic Federation?
There you go. Exactly. Yeah, you got it.
I
Yeah.
served
So,
on it.
so now what my seat is, I'm seat number 3 of the Council of 12 in quadrant. I thought it was B, quadrant B. All right, or it might have been C. Might have been C because I was thinking 3. Yeah, so C, quadrant C. Now you don't move up in the quadrants necessarily. You stay in the same quadrant. You stay on the same Council of 12 that you're involved in and plugged into. You don't necessarily shift or advance or anything like that. You don't get kicked out. you're there for eternity. And then
I
and
resigned.
then
It's just
well,
like
I guess you can resign, yeah. Yeah.
I'm just like, what? Like, explain to me now. Like, I don't need to do that.
And maybe
Like,
that's where I'm at. Maybe that's where I am at now. You know what I mean? And
it's
I
like,
realize that. I realize that, but I know that I've experienced that. Okay, now you know what I'm talking about, obviously, because you're remembering some of
well,
what I'm saying.
well, yeah. This federation's actually comprised of this. To my understanding of it, it's not just the light. It's also comprised of the dark. And
Yeah,
so it's a
yeah,
very mixed bag of representation there. Um, uh, it's um, it's a case by case decision. It um I understand there's like paperwork to be done, you know.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
It's not administrators in the office with the
What's interesting is talking about this Galactic Federation and the Council of 12, I call it. And what's interesting, I remember what was it, an Outer Limits show maybe, and it was this guy about this one guy's life. Basically, he discovered that somebody was directing his life by what they were writing in a book. All right,
what?
and
What's
so
that?
they were at the top of this building, at the top of a high-rise building, in a skyscraper building, in like New York somewhere, and they are writing this man's life story into the book. Okay, as they wrote it into the book, he acted out his life. He basically had no control over what they wrote, obviously, but he had to complete the task that they had written in the book. Okay, now what happened was he finally figured that out, and he went to the building and went up to the office and complained about what was being written for his life
Well,
story.
is his
And
name
he,
Harold Crick?
I can't, I can't remember, I can't
Sounds
remember,
like the movie with
but
Will Ferrell and Emma. What was her name? I can't remember the movie's name.
I can't remember it either. But he had to do certain procedures to go on to the next day, you know. And if he didn't do it, then he would expire and be done. All right.
Stranger
So,
Than
but he
that's what it's.
okay, and then
And
he figured it out. He figured it out though, and then he went and talked to the writer and got them to rewrite the story. It was something about someone died in his life. I can't remember who, and somebody that he loved, obviously,
wait,
and
are
and
you
and
talking
he
about a movie or somebody had this
no,
experience?
this was a TV show uh,
This
from
was a
Outer
movie.
Limits. Yeah. So, but anyway, what I was saying is that we are all designed and programmed and pre-programmed to do what we're doing. Whether now in this time where we're sharing messages and thoughts and reading cards
Well,
and learning our craft better to where we can help somebody, get through their set of and things they have to go through.
right,
Every
but
everyone is growing. Everyone is trying to do their best, I think,
we
and so,
we still have free will in all of it.
yeah, I agree with you. And then we can choose what we want to do and how we want to live our life, I think, for the most part. And so, of course, I think we should all choose the good part of life and live for the good. And what we're trying to do is share our thoughts and our messages and our personal opinions with people. No need for fact checkers again. Need to keep reminding them.
Well,
And
I got a big hard job in this lifetime, and it's not easy being me.
I know that. I know that. And you got your books you're writing and everything like that.
No,
And
Ron, it goes beyond that. People they want to keep me quiet. They want to keep me quiet. They don't want me to tell what I know.
And that's hard because you want to tell it.
I do,
So,
but it has to be. It's so complex. It's so dense. It's so. There's just so much that it's hard to go, hey, people, there's this stuff going on around you, and you really need to get psychic, like now. Like, you
yeah,
need to be psychic
yeah,
because there are people in this world that use those psychic gifts to do evil, like literally do evil.
right.
Okay. So, I mean, basically, that's what they want to, they literally want to silence me. They do not want me to exist.
Hmm. But it's your right to be here. So,
Yeah. But if it was
um,
up to them, I wouldn't.
hmm. Well, we got to
And
make sure that you're safe. Then we got to make sure you stay safe and that you continue what you're doing, your work. And
okay. I,
and well, I'm just saying that everyone has a job to do, and everyone has to complete their task, or it's going to be messed up later on if it's not. You know, and our task is to get our message out there any way we can.
well, yeah.
And
And you're doing a fantastic job, Ron, because you are talking about the Bible. You are talking about
yeah, and
Jesus.
I'm not trying to debate anything that the Bible says. I'm just trying to make sense of it, you know. And that's what I want people to do is look into what I'm saying and try to make sense of it. And if you can make it sensible where I can understand it, I'll be more than happy to accept. I do accept it. Don't get me wrong, but I'm accepting it on kind of like half understanding it. You know what I mean? So it's like we don't quite understand everything about it, but we do understand that it is, it has some good lessons and some good stories in it that we can all learn from. And then, if we understand that and we can share that message alone, it would be amazing to be able to share that and somebody receive it and grow from it. Whether they get saved from it or whatever, you know, that's a
I,
whole nother thing. But
I
my
have
main thing is,
I have
huh?
grown I have grown closer to God. There is a
Yeah,
God. So in this work, a lot of people call on different gods and goddesses or other types of beings.
yeah,
Um it's like, are you working with a pure source? Are
right.
you working with the source? How do you know this is not and how well do you know the source? you know,
Well,
what
I know the Holy Spirit.
how,
I personally know the Holy Spirit. I know Jesus. Okay.
right.
As being a born again Christian, a believer, and I use tarot cards. Some would say, "Oh, that's wrong." It's like, no, it's not wrong. You're sharing a message that someone needs to hear. I don't think it's wrong at all, personally. I don't think that it's like what they were talking about in the Old Testament about sorcery, and things like that. Because in the Old Testament and in some of the writings in the Bible and other religious writings, when they did sorcery, they would be having an altar, they'd be killing animals, they'd use blood. You know what I'm saying? That would be the sorcery they'd be doing. That's
That's
not what I'm doing.
yeah.
I'm
Well,
not doing I'm not doing witchcraft. I'm not doing sorcery. I've done witchcraft in my life, but I don't do it anymore in a sense. I don't do it like I did when I was wondering about the things about some of the witchcraft things that I did learn, and it was like, well, that's not good to use. And I got that in my head right away that that's not good to use. We don't need to be messing with that. There are certain things with that. gifts and powers that are not good. And so I got out of the witchcraft. Now I'm okay with anyone that is a witch or that says that they have gifts or whatever. That's fine. If you're my friend, great. Don't do anything to hurt me. Don't hurt my friends or that I know. But I'm not gonna mess with it anymore because I think some of that still visits me today with that, with some of the things that I, dabbled in. Like I had the big book I mentioned before. I had a big book of black magic, the real book of black magic. The leather bound and everything. It had the pentagram on the cover. It said black magic. You know on it and had all kinds of spells, which I was pretty gifted in the spell thing. I could actually do the spell and not sacrificing anything, but just doing the word spells. And so I'm very careful about that too, because when you're talking about, you mentioned something about going to church and then doing some things at church are not really, they're more kind of like witchcraft in a way. Some of the things that go on at church, which I do understand that, what you're saying, but I think it depends on your focus and what you're trying to look at in that sense. And so, again, it's the intention, like we always talk about on this show, is
Yeah,
the intention. And
absolutely.
so when I do a card reading, I'm not doing it for an evil intention. As you notice, most of the cards I do pull, they're positive. Of course, the deck that I'm using has all positive messages anyway. But the point of the matter is that um, I ask for the guidance of the Holy Spirit for one. Okay, believe it or not, before I do reading, I do in myself, in my inner self, I ask for guidance from the Holy Spirit. Okay, and then I'm supposed to get a message from the Holy Spirit to you or to whoever I do the reading for. Okay, and so I'm like a channeler, basically, if you will. So that can be kind of the sorcery thing they're talking about. But I mean, otherwise, some people might not even reach out and ask the Holy Spirit for the information unless I share it.
There's a whole other thing going on out in the world that's been going on for thousands of years that those it's terrible. That's all I'm gonna
Yeah,
say. I'm
yeah.
kind of done now.
But let's go ahead. But let's for ourselves. Let's keep this promise to ourselves and to our viewers and to anyone that might reach out to us and ask for help. Let's keep carrying the good message, whatever that is.
Well,
Okay.
Ron, the there's that, but we really need to like understand what is going on in the darkness.
Yeah.
And people need to develop their psychic skills so they understand that for themselves. So
Yeah.
they witness it, they experience it. I mean, not
And
I
yeah.
hopefully not firsthand, not
Well,
firsthand. Um,
I did when I was younger in the dark. Like what I
well,
explained.
well, I want them to have an awareness of it
Yeah.
on to what degree things are going on in this world
Right. Right.
that should never. I don't care what universe you're in. this,
Yeah.
this is terrible. It's so ew.
Yeah. Well, we've been over 2 hours now, so 2 hours 10 minutes. We've been
Jabbering.
rambling on about all crazy talk,
It's not
and
crazy.
but it's our personal opinion, so nobody get upset. And if anyone has any questions, you can email me at ertradio@gmail.com. And do you have any place they can contact you if you want them to contact you with any questions?
They can find me on my social media and like DM me.
Yeah, there you go. And
So
then yeah,
we
just
can
reach
play
out and
Things About Me with Ron.
yeah, yeah.
I'm on his
But
show.
yeah, but yeah. So we have fun here each week. Maybe sometimes not as fun as each other show. You know, it depends on what we're doing. So, but if you can think of anyone that wants to be a guest on here too, you know, you can definitely be a co-host and be a guest. You know, when you got the energy to, and I'm not saying a regular sitting, but you know, just once in a while, if you have a someone that reaches out to you and wants to share their book or share their whatever they
Oh,
got going on,
sure.
and you can definitely invite them on this show. You know, if you wanted to, and of course your own show. But I mean, invite them here as well, and let them have more airtime and get their message out. That's the main thing I'm trying to do is get people airtime to get their message out. As long as there's nothing that's going to get us banned or shut down, we got to be careful about that. And I think some of the things we talk about are just uh, um, non confrontational topics that we really talk about, just everyday conversation. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that personally. So, and it is on our own opinion that we're discussing these things, not any set rules or regulations as to what we want to share and talk about. Except for conversation of language and things like that. We got to be careful. But we don't want to talk about current events that'll get everybody mad because we don't have any right information on that and whatever that current event might be at the time. Which they don't want us talking about some of it anyway because, nothing that we want to scare everybody with.
Hmm.
But with our own personal conversation of the Bible or of, the future or the past or whatever, um, that's all personal opinion and some of it might be true. I think some of what we sense is true, but to try to uh, get that understanding to somebody else that doesn't believe in it, that's the hard part, you know. And you've dealt with people probably when you tried to help them with a reading and they didn't want to believe it, right? And then when they do more research, oh my gosh, she was right.
Well, yeah, I have in the past, and so.
Because I've had that problem with myself where I said something and it was right on, and I didn't even think about it, when I was sharing the like when I do the card readings, I don't know how it's connecting with you, but like you said, they all go together tonight. They all went together, and then the couple of weeks ago when I did a reading for you and it talked about your dog, or you got your message of your dog, and the reading which I didn't know that it had passed at the time, but I knew it was ill, but I didn't know it was already gone, So, but the point of the matter is, I
No, it
gave
actually
you
passed the next day.
okay, so I kind of gave you some kind of comfort with that, even though it was not super good news, but yet it was something that you needed to know.
Well, I
So
knew.
that
I knew.
right, but you know what I'm saying.
Just
We do
it
the
just came
you
up in the
know
cards, like.
yeah when we do the reading show like that, and it's not anything planned.
So,
Okay,
but it has to take sometimes when something like that comes up, it's the cards around that card
yeah.
that is a
I mean, like the
message.
ones you got tonight, the ones you got tonight. I shuffled the cards, and that's what
Mhm,
came up. I don't set them up or anything like that. I shuffle them, and then I pull them, and then
mhm.
hopefully it's something that speaks to you, or which you said tonight it did. So that's a good thing. And like that first card that you have, I think is a happy change. Is that right? And so that was, or no, the
I
first card
got
you had was 10.
thoughts, 3 thoughts,
Yeah,
and action. I
Yep.
have to think so much before I
Yep.
act.
Yep.
Uh,
There you go. You have to
so,
consider your actions before you decide to react to something.
uh,
So, but
Ron,
with that,
thank you for the reading. Thank you
yeah,
for allowing me to come on your show and do
you're
some
welcome.
readings and chat with you. It was very delightful. Um, I'll probably come back again sometime.
Hey, C&D boy is here.
Is, do they want a reading before I go?
Did you want to read him before Julie goes? C&D? Say yes, real quick. Say yes. She got one left in her. She got one left, ready to go. C&D, would you like a reading? There you go. Yeah, go ahead and give him a reading anyway.
I don't know. Do I have permission?
Do 3 cards for him. I'm sensing 3 cards. Yeah. And then we'll call it a night.
Okay.
I think we had a good one.
Yeah, we did. C and D.
What did I get asked, Bob? What are you talking about?
Why do they never answer if they get asked? I don't know.
What does he mean by
C&D boy.
that? Okay.
He's a vacation. You know, I really feel like you probably should be in bed now. Because like
I think
I
not,
overworked.
yeah, not to give his location, but he's somewhere in Canada, I think, if I remember
So
right.
7 heavenly virtues, keys to goodness. I feel like your
Ooh.
patience is being tested. Um, and I feel like you're kind of short fused in ways, not like super hot tempered, but kind of snippy in a sense. And you really like because you were tired and overworked. You need downtime and face your fears. And I think this all plays into this. There's some fears going on. So this snippiness, this tiredness, it's wearing on you. So you need your downtime. You need to sleep. You need to rest.
Yeah.
But I almost feel like you're so consumed while in your waking hour, you really, really need that solid sleep. Um, and some more. So, but you need like days off. You really do need a vacation. I'm just like, I'm feeling like this heavy weight of tiredness. Um, so whatever those fears are, if you can overcome those, some of that is that weight. And that emotional weight of those fears will lift off of you. I almost feel like if you deal with that, like you'll get better sleep. You'll wake up lighter. So I hope that message gets to you and helps you. And Bobby,
I
you're
like
welcome.
that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, good night.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank
Thank you very much. Anytime you are welcome, of course. So just
I might
ask.
be I might be on tomorrow. I don't know. So
All right. Well, if you have the energy and you want to do your show, uh, let them know where they can find you. It's on your YouTube channel, right?
yeah, on Spiritual Alchemy Energy, the podcast with Julie on YouTube or on Facebook at Spiritual Alchemy Energy. Thank you, Bobby, for sharing that. Um, I believe this week, towards the end of the week, I will be doing if we are connected, I will be joining the Paranormal Investigators of the South in Tennessee. Well,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
they're going to be live on location, and I'll be doing remote viewing from where I am in California. So,
I remember you did that one show. I saw that. That was pretty good.
um,
So,
this will be at the Thomas House. So
yeah.
we've already done the Thomas House. So I'm kind of interested to see if I pick up different things there this time around. Because
Yeah. I think when I saw it before, I wasn't quite involved in this thinking, this part of thinking with the paranormal stuff, but now I'm more involved with it, and I kind of understand a little more about what's going. Well, kind of understand more of what's going on, but I understand it's real. I know it's not all phony. I know there's some real things going on that we don't understand that we need to know more about. Whether we need to know who the person is or whatever. You know.
Ron, I just find this really interesting. Well, it's not. I like to do it because it's just so interesting. It's like, wow, I couldn't do this like a few years ago.
Yeah.
And to experience things with this other perception that I couldn't before. And
Yeah.
to it's like going into a different world and like getting the impressions of okay, for example, is what I'm picking up here is this residual energy, and why is it here? Why is there this energetic imprint here?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's interesting because I can narrow it down to a time period, and there's different time periods going on at the same time.
Yeah. I'd like to know why the ones are here in my house, but they're not really bothering me. But I just want to know the history of what they're doing here. You know.
I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
sometime we can explore that. And
Yeah.
is there an older lady there?
Yeah.
And she's got gray hair?
Yeah.
I feel like she maybe passed away in the 70s, early 80s.
Possibly, but I don't know who it would be here in the house. But that doesn't mean it was in the house necessarily. Somebody that was connected with the house, possibly. So.
Well, I'm not saying she died there, so.
Right. No, I do know that the husband died here of the woman that owned the house, but he had a heart problem or whatever. I think he
She
died
has
here.
she has an interesting hairdo going on.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking about. I've seen it. I've seen it personally
And
with my.
she has a long. She kind of has a long face,
Yeah.
and she has really beautiful eyes, and then like this very long, slender nose. Have
The
you
one
seen?
that was with her, I've seen her, and do you know what she's wearing? I know what she's wearing.
It looks like a top and like pants.
Okay, now you might be thinking of someone else then. Okay, the one I see has a long dress on, usually like a not really a nightgown, but a dress, like a casual, maybe not a Sunday dress, but like a casual everyday walk around town type of dress. So in the house, during daytime in the house dress, but um, no, the one with pants, yeah, that's a different one. But yeah, I know what you're talking about though. But this one that I'm talking about also looks like that. Yeah.
The
But,
facial features,
yeah,
anyway.
yeah. So, yeah, that's interesting. That's good you can see that because I do know that they're here. They haven't had anything. I haven't had anything negative except for that one time when I had the Shadow Man or the Hat Man that was here, and I told him to leave. So he left and hasn't been back. And so that which is good. And then I had one old guy upstairs that looked out the window one time, and I was at the fire pit, uh, burning some wood, and the old man was looking out the window upstairs. I said, "Wait, who's inside?" My friend Mike was here, and we were both out back. I said, "Who?" And he seen him too. We both looked up there and seen him in the window. He's like, "Wait a minute." So it's not just me seeing this stuff. And that was the guy you were talking about that might be in the attic area, which is basically closed off. And
No, the guy in the basement that bangs.
that's another guy. Yeah, another guy. He's the one that's doing the model work or the woodwork, different building stuff. He's always making noise. He's always making noise all the time. When I go down there, there's nobody there. I don't sense anyone there. Don't feel anything there. But I hear noises all the time from there. So that's weird.
Well, don't let your basement flood, Ron.
I think that's okay now. Like I said, when I took the blocks away from the flower beds that were that are next to the house, all the water so far the snow is melting away from the flower beds, and I can see the evidence of that with the dirt that's being washed over the sidewalk, which I can push back up again, and I can figure out something. I'm thinking about maybe putting the plants I want to save. I got some lilies I want to save, things like that. I can put them in flower in pots, in wooden pots, and I can dig a hole in the ground for the pot and then put the flower inside the pot like it's in the ground. But I don't have to worry about the water building up and going into, like it was in the flower bed with the bricks that were around and would contain that snow and the water would melt into the basement. That hasn't happened since I've done this removal of the blocks. And I thought of that all by myself. So thank you.
Okay. I'm going to take off. I appreciate everything, Ron.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And like I said, anytime you want to sit in with me, or like I said, you have a guest, ask them on the show. Ask them to come on this show, and then if you connect with them, have them on your show, or have them on your show first, and then put them on this show, with us. And you can be here as a co-host, introduce your different friends, and that's how we grow. That's how we grow, and we get the people's message out there, So think about that one, and just consider about who you might want to have as a guest, and who might be interested in a show like this, where they can just talk about what they want to talk about. If it's a book they do or whatever, that'd be awesome. So consider that.
Awesome. I
And
appreciate it.
yeah, we're gonna let you go though. I'm gonna get out of here. It's
Okay.
going on 2.5 hours. What the heck are we
Yep.
doing? Man,
Okay.
we must be drunk. We must be drunk or something.
Thank
Anyway.
you. No, I'm not drunk.
All right.
Good night.
All right, we'll talk to you later. Good night.
Bye-bye.
All right, bye. All right, everybody, that's the end there, and I think we're done. 2.5 hours. We had a good show. Thank you, Julie. That's pretty good for not having anything planned. But yeah, check out her Facebook page and her channel on YouTube. Bobby got it in chat there. Check that out and subscribe. And anytime she has a show, see what she's up to. And always interesting when I am able to watch her show, even if it's on archive. All right, we're out of here, folks. Thank you. And hey, if you have nice weather, get out there and enjoy it. And hopefully you have nice, warm weather where you are. and we saw a yard full of snow here, and but warmer weather is on the way, and we're going to be in the 40s all weekend. So there you go. All right, we're out of here. We'll see you next time. Thank you for joining us. And if anyone else watching on Facebook that wants a reading, please come on over to YouTube, Errt Radio YouTube. That's where the live show is. And come on over here and get in chat and then ask for a reading. And we'll do a reading. If we don't have anything planned for a guest, we'll probably just do live readings like we did tonight. And we had a lot of fun with that. So we'll see everybody on the next one. Have a great night and sleep well. Good night.